Assalamu alaikum, friends. How are you? The political temperature of the country is very high today, these days. Why? Because because of the very bad economic situation in the country. Although this government is partially responsible for that, and it was this economic disasters were initiated by the previous government. Both of these are responsible, but maybe the previous government is even more responsible for the reason that once they came to know that their government might go, what did they do? They didn't they didn't implement the program, the economic reforms program, which was agreed upon between the government of that time and the IMF. So this is why a kind of economic disaster started. But that economic disaster continued once the current government took over. They thought we have just arrived. If at all we are bringing those economic reform upon which the previous government and the IMF had agreed, we will become very unpopular. For that reason, they didn't implement that program at all. And once they didn't implement it, the economic condition started worsening in the country, and it kept going on like that. And although Mifta Ismail was performing slightly better because he was implementing the program of the IMF, but then came the political interest, and then they brought Isaac Dar, removed him from the Ministry of Finance and made Ishaq Dar as the new finance minister. Ishaq Dar, he since was he was a partially economist and partially a politician. So for that reason, I think also because he was a close relative of Mia Nawaz Sharif. So for keeping in view all those reasons, he didn't he too didn't implement that IMF program. And then what did happen? That IMF became very hard and very tough upon the government of Pakistan. They decided that we are not going to issue the loans at all. They imposed further and further and even more restriction upon the government of Pakistan, and for that reason there is quite a lot of economic mess in the country at the moment. And I believe that the present government is responsible. We cannot hold them not responsible, but the previous government is the one which has started this current economic mess in the country. It is definitely very much bad for all the people of Pakistan, the general public of Pakistan, the poor in Pakistan, and the poor, since they are unable to understand well who has initiated and who has participated how much of the bad performance. For that reason, I think as for the current government is concerned, the PDM parties are concerned, particularly the PMLN is concerned, that they are going to suffer and they are going to pay the price for the current economic disaster in the next general election. I think the PMLN will be wiped out, and the PTI will take a will sweep the election. Why? Because the people don't know the who started the economic disaster and who continued it. They started it, but these people continued it. And once they came to know that if at all we don't bring the economic reform, raising the prices, the levy, the tariff, and the utility bill, and the imposition of the sales tax, enhancing the sales tax. I think this is what the current government must have done much earlier, which they have done too late. But I believe that there isn't any sort of default-like condition in the Pakistan. The Pakistan government will be able to prevent and to protect us, but still it's not good at all. That is the kind of current mess. And see what happens. But the government of Pakistan is is up to an extent. The current government is responsible, the previous government is even more responsible. The price is going to be paid by the general public, and the PTI government is going to take the highest advantage. They are going to sweep the election. Chairman Imran Khan will be able to have the two-thirds of the majority in the parliament, and that is a kind of economic disaster in the country.